Hello, welcome to Local Edition. I'm Leslie Leyton. If you've spent time stuck in traffic here in California, you've no doubt had time to contemplate the deteriorating state of our highways, roads, and bridges. How to get that way? What are we going to do about it? Senator Bob Huff here now to talk about his perspective on such things. Welcome.
Good to be here with you, Leslie.
You know, I think Democrats, Republicans, everybody agrees, the roads are falling apart. The difference is, what is the solution and how did it get this way in the first place?
Well, there's nobody that jumps up and down quite as loudly for roads and infrastructure as they do for people programs and stuff. So when the budget starts getting cut, you cut roads first, and that's what happened. So we are currently running underfunded about $5 billion a year in the state, and it's building every year. They get worse because we aren't putting enough money into the situation.
A bill you're introducing has to do with saying no to pilfering money from fees that are supposed to go to helping this infrastructure, to repairing roads and bridges, and it's being diverted to the general fund to pay for other things. What does your bill say?
Right. So the problem is when you are trying to figure out how to pay for something, you get a lot of different ideas. It seemed like within our Republican caucus, what everybody could agree on was transportation dollars currently being extracted from motorists ought to go into transportation projects. That amounts to about $1 billion a year. So my bill would take this diversion that's happening now and make sure that that is nailed shut. We've tried to do that twice before with a couple of initiatives. People get very creative up in Sacramento. So this will nail it shut so it actually does go toward this infrastructure that we so desperately need.
Why does this have to happen anyway? I think voters hate a bait and switch. We're paying these fees and taxes for infrastructure and it goes somewhere else.
Well, again, we shut it with I believe, it was a couple different propositions. I don't remember the numbers right now. But we kept them from borrowing it. And then when they, figured out how to do that, we said they couldn't do this or that. Now they've figured out how to shift it once again. We think this will finally shut it, but we just keep the door shut. Sacramento has a appetite for more funds than we can ever give them. So if something isn't totally nailed down, they will shift it to a higher priority item.
Okay, you're not the only one with a bill addressing this issue. So what's the difference between what you're saying and what other people are saying?
Well, first of all, mine's a constitutional amendment, SCA 7, and by being a constitutional amendment, the state legislature can't re-divert it, right? It would have to go back to a vote of the people. So I have to get it through on 2/3 vote of the legislature, and then the people would vote on it. It'd be on the 2016 ballot in November. There's some other bills that would have different amounts of fees, and again, what they're collecting wouldn't go to transportation, and they would be by statute, not by constitutional amendment. So those are, the big broad brush stroke differences in them.
So how is this going? Is there a compromise that everyone can work with and agree to?
Well, we believe that my bill is the easiest thing to do, but the Democrat-controlled legislature doesn't like to have their hands tied, and that is part of being a constitutional amendment. It'll tie their hands down the road, so that may bring some problems. But having said that, the people that build roads, the people that use roads, we all seem to be getting agreement on them. It's just the Democrat-controlled legislature that's squeaking a little bit right now. We have our first committee coming up soon, so we'll know better after we get it aired through the committee process.
We often hear the problems stated, and restated, but the solution for these things are a little harder to come by.
Well, it's easier to agree on a problem than it is how you fund it, right? So again, we're trying to do what we think is the simplest, but nothing's simple when it comes to Sacramento, and particularly if there's money involved.
All right, State Senator Bob Huff, thanks for being here, talking about this. We'll see how it goes.
Thank you.
All right, thank you for joining us. I'm Leslie Leyton.